Okay, putting it real, there's nothing that feels better than getting into the bed after a long day of travel. Unnecessarily long. Specifically because there was no direct trains from Amsterdam to Paris, like no high-speed trains, because of the strike. Actually, so interesting information. But anyways, I just came on here right now to tell you the first tip of Paris, which is if you are trying to get from the Paris train station, I think it's Gare du Nord, do not take one of those cabs outside. Walk down the street. I recommend Uber because it worked for us. I can't say it always is going to work though, because Uber is kind of shifty and like some cities work, some cities have regulations. But I will say if you have the capabilities to walk slightly down the street, because the cab driver, when we walked right out of the train station, tried to charge us like 40, 50 euros? 40 euros, I think? 45. Like what? And I just paid $13 for an Uber because it was, I'm sorry, 13 euro, because it was literally a mile and a half away. So, first tip in review, don't walk straight outside the train station and take one of those rides from the taxi. Thank me later. So this is a brief little room tour. We just got in. We're in Paris. So we're staying at the Hotel La Madeleine. I don't know exactly what area, but I'll put it in the bio because that's important information. Obviously, you know, bare bones, quite nice. I like the fact that it's 2 twin beds. That was important and something I was looking for because I didn't want to sleep in a queen bed again, my mom. And it's a little bit of a balcony. Nothing crazy. So we just did 2 fashion museums, one for Dior, which I'll tell you more about in a little bit, and also one called, I'll link it in the bio, but it was really interesting. A lot of it was about the fashion of 1997, which apparently was an important year for fashion because all the fashion houses were dying out. Let me take another bite. My favorite for a reason. Coming to you live from the top of Arc de Triomphe. You can see Eiffel Tower there in the back. It is entirely too windy to be up here, but it was really beautiful. And come at 9:30 to see the lighting of the Eiffel Tower and its sparkles. So now we're going to do a baking class. We actually just passed down the street and passed by one of the protests happening, so that's what you just saw. So we're gonna go do this baking class. So we just got finished with our baking class and it was such a good experience. We booked it through Airbnb experiences and we ended up baking a Paris bret, which is apparently a really popular pastry here in Paris. The pastry that we made was absolutely delicious. We made the pastry itself and then we had some other little options on the side. And our guide, I can't remember his name. What was his name? No, I think you made that up. Andrew. But he was very good. He gave us some really good techniques and tips on how to bake. And I feel like, as always, a cooking class is an excellent way to get to know the culture and the place that you are in. So now we are just sitting in a cute little park nearby where we did the cooking class and basically plotting our next move. We are trying to grab some food really quickly, like an awkward amount of time between now and needing to get ready to go to our show tonight, which is Les Moulin Rouge. So I'm gonna get as much as I can of that. I know I probably can't record inside of it, but I will definitely give you some tips and everything when I am done. Just now getting back from the Moulin Rouge show. It was a really good one, and I can't really describe to you everything that I just saw, but I can say a man stood on a man's head. There were snakes. There was lots of jumping in the air and landing in the splits, and boobs. You can't not talk about the boobs. But overall, I would definitely say it's a show worth seeing. If you're in Paris, it's a show worth seeing. It's a classic, and they've done many different renditions. It's the original place of the can actually, which is something that I read. But there's been many different renditions over the years where they've like modified and changed the shows. And obviously, like, honestly, after seeing that show, I was surprised because I kind of expected it to be a little bit more like old-timey in the fact that specific performance venue, Moulin Rouge, has been there since like the 1800s, or I think 1915 maybe. And they had stages coming down and pits full of water and people flying everywhere. Well, on top of that, there was a lot of Parisians there, which to me just means that it's not really just a tourist attraction that you have to do if you're a tourist when you're in Paris, but genuinely something that like Parisians enjoy, and people come all over, I'm sure, from France and different places to see the shows as they change and as they switch. So definitely something to check out, a little bit on the pricier side, but we did avoid spending by not getting the champagne, which there's two options where you can include the champagne, or there's one where you don't have to. And the champagne is not really an expensive brand, and we would have ended up paying like $60 between the two of us for the extra add-on of the champagne. So you don't have to include that, but definitely a good show. We went to the late show, 1 at 11, and it's now like almost 2 o'clock. So had a good day, another beautiful day in Paris, and see you in the morning. So we've made it to the Palace of Versailles. That's it, right up there. As you can see, it's still a pretty gray day, so we'll have to work with that. But we're gonna go in for our entry time and see what's up. Finishing the night with a crepe. Even though I'm ridiculously full because we just ate a good meal, but always say yes to crepes. Okay, so just made it back from adventuring outside all day. We went to, as you just saw, we went to the Palace of Versailles, and that is actually in Versailles, which, fun fact, it's only about 10 miles away from where we were staying here in the center of Paris, but it was the summer home for the royals early, like, you know, back in like the 1600s, and it's really truly a palace. And I think we did the calculations, was like, they used to own about like 8,000 acres out there, and it was the summer palace of the royals. So look at that. That's how the other half lives, or really the other 1%. But tonight is actually our last night here in Paris, so sadly enough, it's time to pack it all up. Side note, why is packing always so much worse when you're going home than packing to get to the place you're trying to go to? Go figure. But anyways, I am just going to enjoy my crepe that somehow still managed to stay warm in this entire Uber ride back from the crepe place, and pack up my stuff and call that a trip on Paris. It was a good time, did a lot of stuff, not quite maybe a typical Paris adventure where we made sure to see all of the typical tourist sites, but I did what I wanted to do, and I hope you enjoyed watching. So thank you, and make sure you tap in and tune in to social media, specifically Instagram, and watch for more videos. Bye guys.